Thank you, and thanks for having us tonight. Besides infrastructure and raising the minimum wage, I'd like to see Medicaid expansion in Virginia, something I've worked hard for, which would create 30,000 to 35,000 new jobs right here. We need to oppose the Ryan budget and move in the opposite direction, adding, not cutting, job training. We need to have clean energy investments with green jobs for a greener economy. And we need our community colleges, as Governor McAuliffe has led in Virginia, to train for the jobs of tomorrow. Finally, we need to work on college affordability by increasing the capital for Pell Grants, lowering the interest rate to the same rate as banks get for the Federal Reserve uses to loan money to banks. But those are some of the things we need to do, and I think that the jobs of tomorrow being reactive to what the market will be is one of the best things to do.
Thank you. Mark Levine.
So nobody who works 40 hours a week should live in poverty in America. That means that we must not only increase the minimum wage to $10.10, we must make sure that people have a living wage to take care of their families. It used to be that it took one wage earner a generation ago, and he was usually a he, could take care of his family. Now we have men and women both working in two-parent families, and they're falling farther behind. What's causing that? One of the main things that's causing that is offshoring corporations, going and getting cheap labor abroad and harming the people back home. We have a tax system that rewards companies that take their jobs offshore. So they have all these trillions of dollars they don't invest in America because they get better tax savings offshore. I would reverse that. I would say we should punish the ones that take jobs offshore and help the ones that decrease them at home. I think it's one of the main reasons for wage disparities, and by the way, I of course support complete pay parity among men and women, among all races and so forth. But one thing we really have to do is we've got to stop the drug war. The drug war punishes African Americans disproportionately more than whites. Everyone uses the drugs in the same amount, but the police go after blacks more. And if we stop putting people in jail for nonviolent crimes, we'll have people have a much better chance to survive in society.
Thank you. Don Beyer.
Let me try to answer the question about how we put African Americans back to work, since the unemployment rate is double what the national employment rate is. In 2008-2009, the President asked me to lead the transition team at the Department of Commerce. One of the 13 agencies there is the Department of Minority Business Enterprise. And I strongly recommended and wrote the agenda that said we spend a much greater share of the stimulus money on the Department of Minority Business Enterprise to give capital to small businesses who want to grow, especially and particularly African American businesses. $787 billion was far too small. As Paul Krugman and others have written, it needs to be $2 billion. Second, we need to increase the 8A programs. We need set-asides at the state, local, and especially at the federal level. And by the way, I've seen this in the automobile business where the manufacturers have proactively gone out and sought preferentially African American dealers. It's a great network now. By the way, they tend to hire a lot of African American managers and salesmen, which is great too. And finally, I spent 15 years leading the state's largest high school dropout prevention program. Our high school dropout rate is 27%. And kids, African American, white, Latino, whatever, who don't finish high school are in that long-term unemployed. Really tough to get them there.
Thank you.